Out in the woods today, and I brought out the amazing Esee 5.
Come over. Don't fight how you really feel. Come closer to me. I'll give
Now,
you
I reviewed
something
this quite a long time ago on a blog I used to write, but never done a video review, so I thought we'd go over the specs and I'll show you guys it going through its paces in the woods. Esee knives, American made, and they are made by Randall's Adventure and Training. So these guys predominantly actually provide like training, hardcore sort of wilderness training and survival training for military, law enforcement and various other agencies. And, you know, they're serious business, they know what they're doing, and they've actually got a range of really hard use tools and knives all along that line basically of survival, wilderness stuff. And they've just got a legendary reputation for hard use. And one of the big things with these guys is that they provide a lifetime, no questions asked warranty. You know, if you snap one of these things in half somehow, then they will just replace it free of charge. So, you know, although some people question, you know, the prices on things sometimes, with these guys, what you pay is what you pay for life, and actually they're not crazily priced anyway, but they're really good value for money in terms of you can abuse the hell out of these things. You know, if you're in the military or law enforcement and you're using one of these things to get through a door or open up a window or something and you end up snapping it, doesn't matter what you were doing with it, Esee will replace it for you. So awesome. Now, the reason I sort of question if anyone would break them is because when you look at these things, I mean, they are built like tanks. Look at that. I mean, that is a serious wedge of metal in there. So you've got a 13.7 centimetre blade and it's 6.5 mil thick. That is serious level of thickness. Obviously they weigh quite a bit. It's 435 grams. This one is the OD green with the sort of desert tan micarta handle. Very, very sharp. Comes in 1095 carbon steel, as do most of the Esee knives. Comes with a Kydex sheath, and one of the interesting things about the sheath is it's actually got this little locking point there. You just push that up, that locks the knife in completely. Push it back down again. Now we've got access again. Locks it in really nicely. They come with these belt clips which are really robust. The only problem I find with these belt clips is they're so kind of strong that they can be difficult to get on and off the belt, because they've got this kind of little notch piece on there which is good for, you know, retention. It keeps it on your belt, it's not going to go anywhere, but the downside of that is it can be difficult to unhook sometimes. So I'll probably replace that with a separate mech at some point in the near future, maybe you know, tech lock or something like that. You can also get like a webbing option for it, which makes it a bit more of a dangly hanger off the belt. You know, if you want something that you can hang off the belt and it's just dangling there, so it's not kind of fixed and getting in the way, you can get that as well. So this 1095's been hardened to 57 Rockwell. On this one is mostly plain edge, a little bit of an edge there for rope cutting, braid cutting, etc. You got a bit of jimping on the top. I say a bit, it's hella thick. This is the sort of thing you would want to use with a pair of gloves on. And then obviously these micarta handles, really, really overbuilt pommel, which has got a point on there if you were going to use that as a breaker or something like that. And then on there you can actually see It's got something for fire sticks, so you can use that to kind of wedge on to the top of your stick, and then if you're using a bow drill or something like that, the stick would just spin in that hole, and you could make fire that way. I mean, that's a long and arduous chore to make fire these days. I'd rather just take some matches out with me, but if you guys are into that bushcrafty stuff, then you can certainly go with that. And the thickness of that in there, you know, that is hella strong. So, you know, I'm sure people do break these occasionally, doing crazy stuff with them, leveraging like a car door handle off or something, but man, you'd have to be going some to damage that. When I've been to the Esee stands, you know, they do have a couple of knives up in the background that people have actually managed to break, and usually it is doing some crazy prying and things like that, or using them, you know, hammering them through steel or ridiculous stuff like that. So you know, it can be done, but you and me are probably never going to be able to break these things. They are crazily strong, a real pleasure to use. You know, when you're using it, it's really robust, and you feel like you've got a really decent tool in hand. You know, it's a nice thing to own, and if you're doing some serious work out in the woods, then that's the kind of thing I would want with me. You know, for a sort of out for a long period of time in a serious situation, or even if you're just camping, you know, if you're spending a week or two out on the trails and in the woods, and you want something that's like a bit of a do-it-all, you can sort of do a bit of chopping with it. You can hammer it through, baton it through lumber to, you know, make your fire for your campfire. You know, it'll do all those things. It'll do pretty much anything. It's not going to complain. So yeah, great bit of kit. Let's take it out in the woods and see what it gets up to.
Come over. Don't fight how you really feel. Come closer to me. I'll give you something to believe in. Come over. Don't fight how you really feel. Come closer, please. I'll give you something to believe in. All I really need's a little motivation to pull you from the other side.